first question then is a teacher who inspired me. So I have to say that I had relatively few teachers on whom I sort of model what I do and who I am and all this kind of stuff, partly because the education I had was really very, very different. It was all one-on-one, one-on-two, very, very close tutorial type stuff, which we just don't do here. The person who probably influenced me in a slightly different way was this teacher that I had in high school when I was 16, 17 years old. His name was Ted Cook. And in some respects, he was a terrible teacher. He used to come in and sit in the class, and he would open his newspaper and read the want ads. You know, he would actually be actively looking for a better job while he was supposed to be teaching us. And he would, the first thing he would do is like peel an orange, and he'd be eating this orange. And anyway, he did two things that to me were, they really changed my entire notion of what a teacher is. One was that I remember one time when our school had a kind of a cadet corps, sort of like JROTC, and they were outside the window and they were kind of doing this marching up and down, and he opened the window and shouted out, "Cannon fodder!" And it was the first time I'd ever seen a teacher be himself within a teaching role. And I've been thinking about this, and it seems to me that up until then, virtually every teacher I had seen was in some sense a representative of the institution. His or her presentation was, I am part of the school, and in a sense, therefore, he or she was just like the buildings and the lawns and whatnot. In higher ed, it's a little different. There the teacher is, in many respects, an embodiment of the curriculum. I am what it is that I teach. I am teaching Chaucer because, of course, Chaucer needs to be taught, and I happen to like Chaucer, etc. And it seems to me that what Ted Cook did in that 1 second was to show a different view of a teacher, which is that a teacher is part of who you are, and one of the things you are is a teacher. And it seems to me that when I'm teaching writing, for example, I say everybody has a mind that has 12 cylinders, and typically they use much of that mind when they're being themselves. When they're writing, there is a sense that typically they only use 3 or 4 of those cylinders. You know, I am doing this piece of writing here. I'm not allowed to be funny. I'm not allowed to tell stories. All this kind of stuff. And when I'm teaching writing, I say, you know, use all 12 cylinders. But now it occurs to me the same thing is also true of teaching. If you're a teacher, you have those 12 cylinders. You know, if you're a funny person, be funny. If you're a dramatic person, you know, be dramatic. If you're a passionate person, be passionate. If you're a serious person about things, be serious. Everybody around you will know that you are firing on all 12 cylinders, whether they're students, whether they're colleagues, etc. And in some sense, they will want to be you. They will want to share some of that heat and some of that passion of what you do. And so it seems to me then that what I learned from Ted Cook is you can be a teacher and be yourself, and the more you are yourself, if you are, you know, a teacher, the more that is going to rub off, the more that is going to inform everything you do.